Okay, recording this video after close of trade Tuesday, 4th of October 2011. It's actually the morning after here in France. Wanted to get a video out because yesterday was an incredibly important day. It was a reversal day, and we had about 3.6 million contracts traded. You can see we've got this kind of white then red kind of bar pattern here. This is a reversal pattern where we've had exhaustion selling and then the low. We found a low yesterday and had a reversal buying day, and huge activity. The last hour of the day, just the trend just took off to the upside. I'll show you how that set up. And from a trend line perspective, we're back in the zone, back in congestion here. So we got the breakdown after the weekend on the Monday, kind of panicking, falling through these levels at 1120, then 1100. And now today we reverse back in. I did talk on the weekend that one of the scenarios was that we break 1120 into 1100, and that's where the professionals kind of pick it up, where everybody kind of freaks out. And well, in fact, it was a bit lower than 1100. I think 68 was the low down here, and it was in that zone that the professionals just picked it up. We had almost like a test of that bottom at the end hour and a half of trade yesterday, and the professionals stepped in and just picked it up and just took it back. So based on this kind of congestion zone, we've tested this one, we've come back into the zone, which means we should head back up. I don't think it's going to be a straight line up, but we should head back and test 1200. So interesting times. In terms of better X trend, we've now kind of trailed this stop down, so this is sitting at about 1160, but really, kind of looking for some kind of continuation move today, Wednesday. On sine waves, on the daily sine wave, you can see we broke that support, and we're now back at support. What's kind of more interesting for me is the 135 minute chart. There are 3 of these bars in a day, and we found support. That was kind of the level that kind of came in, and when again backing it down to the lowest time frame with this time frame is a 15-minute chart, and you can see 15-minute chart end of trend marked this kind of double bottom pattern that we got yesterday. So end of trend on the lower time frame coinciding with the higher time frame is kind of a high probability type trade, and the higher time frame is 9 times that, times 3 times 3, so 9 times 15 is 135 minutes. Which gives you this chart, kind of mark that point. Not that I'm looking at these kind of not looking at the 15-minute chart during the day. I'm just using my tick charts. And in terms of momentum, you see what's happened with the activity here. And this is just looking. You can look at momentum a whole bunch of different charts. At ES.D or the 1440-minute chart or the continuous chart. Bunch of ways, and they show slightly different kind of patterns on better momentum. This is the one that I feel is what we felt going on today. So basically, yesterday, Monday's trade was a flush signal, flushing out the last of the sellers at that point, and then we put in a reversal day to day. So I actually think the market's looking strong after seeing this. So breaking down, testing those lows, finding where the professionals will come back in, and we've kind of set about starting to build the uptrend. In terms of long-term charts, 40,500 tip bar chart. So 7 or 8 days ago we topped out with exhaustion buying, and then we started to roll over with bearish divergence here, and we've come back into exhaustion selling on Monday, and there's the bullish divergence pattern on Tuesday, and that kind of puts in a bottom. Have a little bit, this looked almost like a flush signal here, kind of flushing out. It's not as much selling as this exhaustion selling bar, but it's kind of more or less kind of than the bullish divergence patterns here. So it's almost like a flush into there. I thought it was going to form a pullback to end of trend. It didn't. They came back in, bang, at this kind of just under 1080. Professionals took it up, broke it through that trend line, or the resistance line, and all the way up like that. So now we've had exhaustion buying on the upside here. This for me represents not the end of this type pattern here. This is the volume that gets this move going, and then when this move kind of peters out, we'll see a similar type of momentum reading on the way out of this move. So that's we could easily kind of just pull back and test it again on Wednesday, but this is pretty strong activity here. When you go down to the 4,500 tip bar chart, just kind of compress this up a little bit. This is the close on Monday. We continued selling off after the close, and this is the open on Tuesday. And then we were making these lows with exhaustion selling down here. We came into a nice little reversal pattern here. We had exhaustion buying and a bearish divergence and then a flush pattern, first on this peak and flushing out the last of those buyers at that point, and that's when we tested down and we had this lovely pullback to end of trend signal down here. But look at the amount of selling that was actually going on here, and we had this whole cluster of bullish divergence patterns here. I must admit I was looking for some kind of exhaustion selling on the downside to mark the bottom of that. Believe it or not, I was actually trying to get short here, but I was smart enough to get out when it wasn't working for me. Made 2.5 points I think on the final trade when it started to reverse and kind of go around, so I kind of jumped out. Wasn't expecting this kind of strength of move into the end of the day. I mean, this was like a 45-point shot. It was just unbelievable. And you can see we've had all these kind of blue professional bars, exhaustion buying and so on, but that's everybody reversing on the way up. We've got pullback to end of trend to make on this time frame, but you know, that was a nice little kind of pattern there. But I suppose, you know, just note to self, we don't always get kind of exhaustion selling here. Just need to be careful about reading what the market's saying. We'd had that exhaustion selling earlier on, and then when we came back into those same levels, that 73 type level was critically important yesterday. When we came into it, just very little selling at that point. Didn't want to take it down. They just took it up instead. Trend oscillators, they've also kind of turned around. They've been, I mean, really for the last week, they've been trying to buy into this. We kind of had the oscillator turn around, then make a double dip into here. You can see better trend oscillator here, and we've been buying all the way down in terms of the trend oscillator signals. Not unlike the last kind of time here, you know, we get this kind of cluster where, you know, the trend oscillator is trying to get in early and too early, and then the move kind of gets going. But let's see, I think we should have a stronger move than this last rally that we had here. And then just look at some other charts, just reminder. So, you know, if risk is back on, you know, dollar index and bonds will start to tail off. We have got this cyclical resistance coming in on the dollar index. This is the weekly chart here. I've been talking about this. Kind of due, you know, so that would, you know, suggest dollar index is going to weaken possibly over the next week or so. What's this? 10-year bonds. First of all, you know, we've been not convincingly breaking through on the 10-year. We formed a pullback little signal here, but just to note, you know, look at these no demand patterns kind of coming out, finding it really difficult to break through here. And we've had our exhaustion buying, bearish divergence and flush signals already here, and the buying pressure has really started to weaken. A similar type of pattern on the 30-year, although, you know, stronger buying happening here, but exhaustion buying, bearish divergence, couple of flush patterns happening here and here, so it's kind of flushing out with this blue professional bar really right at the highs, and then coming back in, weakening a little bit of a double top forming, profit taking and so on. So potentially we could see kind of the bond market start to roll over for a little bit, and who knows, you know, what the strength of the rally will be. But that's, you know, potentially what we've got on the card. So I've got to change my tune a little bit. I must admit, I've really enjoyed psychologically. I've really enjoyed the last, you know, week or so as the market started to weaken. I do love you know, down days and bear moves, and so I've got to get myself into a headspace. You know, today's trade, Wednesday's trade, is always difficult for me. Once we have runaway days like this, where the trend just, you know, accelerated during the day, and, you know, what happens after this, you know, huge move, we'll get some kind of continuation move today, but, you know, you're buying at really elevated levels. Do you wait for the sell-off? I'm always trying to, and, you know, after a trend move like that, it's always a bit choppy as the market's trying to find a little bit of a top and then trying to find some kind of retracement level that it's happy buying back into this move. And so I tend to trade the day after, you know, trend days, uptrend days not very well, and the day after trend up days I don't trade them very well either, so I'm just a little bit wary. I did have a good day today, probably too many trades, 8 trades but 6.5 points, and funnily enough my first 2 trades of the day were almost carbon copies of what happened to me yesterday. Got into a loss of 6.5 points after the first 2 trades, then kind of pulled it back and made it back, but it was bizarre how similar. Let me just pull that chart up. So here's the open on the 1500 tip bar chart, and I was trying to get long around here at 80.50. Then it started to go the other way, so I kind of jumped out. Then I thought I'd get in long again, I think at about 80.75. Here we had a flush signal, support kind of come in. We tried to break out above this resistance level into an uptrend. I thought, be good for a long trade. And my target was at 84. Well, we came into cyclical resistance, just like yesterday. No blue professional bars up here, and the thing just turned around and went the other way, took me out at my stop. It was carbon copy, the first two trades of Tuesday. Carbon copy of Monday. It was bizarre. And then the reversal trade was a carbon copy as well. We kind of came around the support level, tested back up to it, amateur up bar. Professionals kind of getting into these lows and kind of got short. So I was able to get short at 77 and pick out almost 4 points on my third trade going down here. So I got the change of trend. I was in late, but there were no kind of decent signals like a blue professional up bar at the highs here, or maybe an amateur up bar on this retrace to get this move signal that there was kind of weakness in this move. And I just didn't get any of those signals today, so was a shabby day to start with, but I pulled it around. So I shan't bother tagging on my day trades. I'd just rather get this video out. And kind of video overload happening at the moment. Anyway, there's been some great kind of articles, videos and commentary and stuff over the last few days. I'm going to put those on the post today. So anyway, hope your trading went well for Tuesday. If you're getting this by email, apologies if you're getting this late, but it's an important kind of day, reversal day like this. So psychologically, I just need to start considering the possibility that we're going to have a little bit of a strong and uptrend. So anyway, I hope your trading's going well.